So, we have more updates about the Ashlee Jenae and Joe McCann case from the Director of Criminal Investigations and locals down in Zanzibar. Now, what you should know is that a lot of what is being reported is in Swahili because it's info coming from the locals. But y'all are in luck because your girl understands the language, so I can assure you that nothing will be lost in translation. There are details about how Ashlee and Joe had several heated arguments from the moment they stepped in Zanzibar, how Joe was a frequent visitor in Zanzibar and wasn't a visitor at the resort, and how they argued because he would leave Ashlee in the villa to go and hook up with local women. Yikes! Cheating with locals? Apparently, Joe also had a friend in Zanzibar who was brought in for questioning, and I've also seen some reports of Ashlee's engagement ring being found and allegedly having blood stains. Baby, it's messy as hell, and info is coming in hot. Okay, first of all, I don't know why this report is not available online, but I was able to track it down from one of the news sites in Zanzibar, and the Director of Criminal Investigations has provided a detailed timeline, stating that Joe and Ashlee checked into Zuri Hotel, Villa number 25, with a planned departure for April 10, 2026. He confirmed that, just like the streets were saying, there was a dispute between the two of them, and it was so bad that the person in Villa number 24 alerted the hotel staff, and that's when they were separated into different rooms. He said that the staff decided to relocate Joe to Villa number 65, which is approximately 8 to 10 minutes from Ashlee's room. Now, at around 7:30 p.m., on the day Ashlee was found, one of the attendants was doing his evening rounds when he visited Villa number 25 where Ashlee was staying, and she told him that she needed a phone charger. The attendant gave Ashlee his phone charger and then proceeded to Villa 24 and 26, but Ashlee had told him to come back after about 10 minutes. According to what the Director of Criminal Investigations said, the attendant went back after about 20 minutes. He knocked on the door, there was no answer, and all the lights were turned off. Maybe he felt that something was off since they had agreed with Ashlee that he should go back for his phone charger after a few minutes. And when he couldn't get a hold of her, he used his emergency key to open the door. And that's when he discovered Ashlee suspended from the internal wardrobe hanging rod using a gray bathrobe belt. Based on the report, at the time, she was still alive but struggling. So he raised the alarm and they rushed Ashlee to the nearest hospital. Then, after initial treatment, Ashlee was transferred to another hospital for specialized care, but she passed on the next day at about 3 p.m. Now, I've seen how this part about the attendant has brought confusion online, but what you need to understand is that this attendant had given Ashlee his phone charger, and I'm assuming he probably told her that his shift would be over soon and he needed his phone charger back, which is why Ashlee probably told him to go back after a couple of minutes. Honestly, at first, this is what I thought made sense, only to come across POVs from the locals saying that Joe wasn't exactly a stranger in Zanzibar. He actually knew the lay of the land, and the people at the resort knew him well. And now, a lot of people are wondering whether they were covering for Joe. Think about it. The staff claims they moved Joe to a completely different villa that was 10 minutes away. Then, they claim Ashlee told the attendant to come back for his charger in a similarly short window of time. Isn't it a bit too convenient? By placing Joe 10 minutes away and having a staff member discover the scene soon after, they create a timeline where it's physically impossible for Joe to have been in the room. To some people, considering these are people he apparently knew before, it feels less like a carefully constructed alibi to prove there's no way he could have committed a crime. And here's the thing. The locals are saying that because of that familiarity, Joe was well aware of how things worked behind the scenes, specifically the fact that the local police and the staff could be bribed. It definitely adds a different layer to the story when you realize he chose a spot where he knew he could likely buy his way out of trouble if things went south. Apparently, what the police are not saying is that they took about 10 people into questioning, including the hotel staff and a white friend of Joe who was in Zanzibar at the time. Like, this man was so at home in Zanzibar that he even had foreign friends there. Plus, it also doesn't make sense that Ashlee's family is still being kept in the dark about autopsy results, even though it's been completed. Her father had to fly to DC just to get US officials to help communicate with Tanzanian authorities, but they're still not releasing her body or the findings. Like, what are they really hiding? Or covering up? But that's not even all, guys. I know a lot of y'all have also been wondering what the arguments were all about. Well, a source from Zanzibar is now revealing that Joe and Ashlee were arguing because he was cheating on her, and he would leave the villa to go and be with other local women in Zanzibar. Apparently, there was even another argument at the reception because somebody was flirting with Ashlee, and he got offended, and Ashlee started screaming about him cheating on her. This was the problem, and I don't know how this escalated to the point where she lost her life, but trust me, we are gonna find out soon. And about these issues, one of Ashlee's friends is now saying that Ashlee had told her that she was scared and that she wanted to end things because she had had repeated arguments with Joe and major fights even before she went on the trip. According to the friend, Ashlee wanted to leave, but she was afraid because this man is very aggressive. And after a bit of digging, I also found other incidents from the past that put a lot of question marks on Joe's character. Like, there's an article from when Joe married his first wife in 2018, and the article starts off when she said this was the toughest decision of her life. Can you imagine your wedding to the man you supposedly love being the toughest decision in your life? So this is what happened. The ex-wife, who I won't mention by name, has a father, but she was tasked with the decision of walking down the aisle alone because the dad refused to walk her down the aisle. Ask yourself this: why would a father refuse to walk his daughter down the aisle on his daughter's most important day? It's obviously because he had a problem with Joe, right? And it's likely because he had seen the signs. Now, I'm gathering that from the influence of Joe, he convinced the bride to walk down the aisle alone, and as she came down the aisle at that moment, she said he promised her, "You will never have to walk alone in life again." The sad thing is that Joe made this promise to her only for him to leave her in 2021 while she was pregnant with their second baby. Allegedly, there was a lot of aggressive behavior in this marriage as well, and that's why people are saying they believe that when it comes to Ashlee, Joe was the aggressor. I've also heard that reporters said there was no forced entry into Ashlee's room. However, they did find Ashlee's engagement ring in a rental car at the end of the hotel. Apparently, the ring was a little concerning to them because it has blood stains on it, and they took it in for forensic to check if the blood belonged to Ashlee, Joe, or someone else. This part I honestly cannot verify, so I won't dwell much on it, but as soon as I get more details, I will definitely break it down. And by the way, let me clear something up because a lot of people have been tagging the wrong resort on social media. Ashlee did not die at the hotel with the lion that has been popping up on our timelines since the story broke. This resort is in another town in Tanzania and not Zanzibar where she died. In fact, the team at Serval said Ashlee was happy when she was at their resort, and they responded to one of the posts saying, "We truly understand your concern, and we are deeply saddened to see this happen. During her time with us, she was very happy," which is clearly reflected in her experience and her last social media posts from Serval. "She left our premises in good condition and in a positive mood. The incident did not occur at our property, and we do not have further information regarding the situation or the person she was with. We kindly advise following official updates from the relevant authorities for accurate information." See, these issues between Joe and Ashlee escalated in Zanzibar, where Joe was familiar with the resort and the staff, where he knew he could pay his way out, and where he would leave Ashlee in the villa to allegedly go and hook up with local women. And to think that this happened immediately after the engagement? Of course she crashed out. What we are still trying to figure out is whether or not he's the one who unalived her. And we can only know whether there was foul play when the authorities in Tanzania release the real autopsy, which is taking too long. Meanwhile, let me know what you think of how this case is unfolding in the comments section below.